Monday, July 9th, 2019. Bitcoin made the strong breakout predicted in yesterday's episode, and our indicators say that Bitcoin may continue climbing. We'll look at Bitcoin dominance trends that you can't ignore, and 2 ways to protect your assets and stay prepared for the next crypto bull wave. All of that packed into today's episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin. A quick look at our disclaimer. This isn't trading advice, just market observation. Let's jump in and we'll start off with our indicators. We go into the RSI, and on the long-term view, we can see that the RSI has ticked higher in the weekly, and this is really bullish for it to have any kind of move higher at all. We're still watching for it to point and to make a top and pull back now. We'll zoom into the 1-day view, and we can see where the RSI has pulled up a little bit since our episode yesterday, as prices made a good green candle. Now as we zoom in, we're coming up to see that these candles are making a double top. And so I'm watching for RSI divergences, which is holding out pretty steady here and not giving me the feeling that there's a underlying weakness here from looking at the RSI on the 12-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame, we're still seeing more and more positive on the RSI. It hasn't topped and broken this little uptrend here. That's not negative. It's not really giving us much of a positive view as a divergence there, but there's still lots of room for it to go to be much more overbought in this indicator here. So not really giving us one way or the other, except for coming into this level now. In the 15-minute time frame, we can see that prices are pretty flat across the top, but the RSI has a bit of a downtrend. Just at the front edge here, it's flattened out, which is pretty good. If it continues to tick higher, then that's all well, and the prices may continue up from here. Let's go and check out the on-balance volume. Looking at the weekly, we can see that we have lots of room for this volume to be much higher. In fact, we have a little bit lower week after week in volume. Even though the price is going higher and strongly, the volume doesn't seem to be as convincing. Now when I zoom into this 1-day view, we can see how much volume we had here, how much volume we had here, not so much here. And so that divergence sort of supports the fact that this is a double top and we should be looking for weakness. Now when I zoom in from the 1-day view to the 12-hour view, this has got some bumps of volume that are pretty equal for both of those tops, but they don't match what was coming before. They don't match this shoulder, they don't match this shoulder, they don't match the top. And that is something that would make me want to pay attention to this being a double top. Now I'm zooming in and more, we can see lots of volume here, less volume here, even though they are equal tops. That is a kind of a bearish divergence all the way along here. Now this gets more bullish, and I like this, where we see the volume and we're seeing more volume right here on the right hand side. That is great. We're on the 1-hour time frame, so I want to see that trickle out to the 4-hour time frame. Let me go back to the 4-hour time frame. I want to see that trickle up. By tomorrow, I want to see that change and be significantly different. Now let's skip ahead and go into the 15-minute time frame. Volume, a little less volume here, but the price isn't weakened off. It hasn't turned negative. And that's important on the 15-minute time frame. Pretty much any selling will make it turn negative for a little bit. And on the 1-day view, again, we got strong, not quite as strong on this far side. And that would be good to see that pick up and be stronger to continue the bull wave. I don't know. We'll have to watch and see it. That'll happen as the buying comes in. Now let's go on to the MACD indicator. And when this comes up, the MACD indicator for me is the leading indicator. It tells ahead of time when these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations are breaking out. So this told us way ahead of time, weeks ahead of time, that the crossover happened and we should be full bore Bitcoin. It was way advanced, and it hasn't told us to ease off yet. In fact, we're watching these histograms to see if they are going to be easing back and giving this a change of slope in that. And nothing yet on the weekly. This is looking great. Now on the daily, it's not quite as good. And we were noticing this yesterday, that we have a crossover and negative histogram, and that I figured the histogram would have to go positive and this would have to cross over before we had the breakout. But we've had a bit of a breakout. We'll zoom in now to see how this is playing out. On the 12-hour time frame, you can see this did cross over and we have the histogram go to positive. Not happening on the daily yet. So we'll have to see now as we zoom in, do we get any divergences to tell us this double top has got some weakness on one side and strength on the other. So far, this is looking pretty good. As I open this up, we can see that we're positive histogram, got a crossover to the positive. So that's all supporting moves up from here on the 4-hour time frame. And on the 1-hour time frame, again, we've got crossovers to the positive histogram. Overall, if I zoom this back, we've got higher lows in this and the crossovers. So this all looks positive, just a continuation of positive from yesterday. Even if we go into the 15-minute time frame, okay, now we're starting to see a crossover to the negative right at the same time that the RSI was easing off on the 15-minute time frame. As we zoom into the 5-minute time frame, we can see sort of that same divergence, but it hasn't gone negative here, and it's just going flat. We'll have to watch how this proceeds to see if it's going to switch and go to the bull. Now let's go to the Ichimoku Cloud, which is showing us strength week after week. This is really looking good. We have the twist to the positive. Everything is looking good here as the prices are breaking through that big cloud. That's very bullish in the long term to break through the cloud like that. Then we go into the daily view, and all is well in this. We're still in between the indicators. We've got a green cloud. We're above the cloud. The conversion line has just crossed over the baseline. Actually, that's not good. So we'll have to pay attention to that. Let's go into the 12-hour time frame, and we had that crossover yesterday that we were commenting on and saying that this is not a leading indicator, this one generally, and so we'll have to wait for these breakouts to actually occur. And I was expecting that the conversion line would have crossed over the baseline already. Let's zoom into the next time frame on the 4-hour time frame. So this has broken above the cloud. That's bullish. We have a twist to the positive, and the conversion line has crossed over the baseline. So that's generally bullish. We're getting some conflicting indicators here as we're zooming in on this. On the 1-hour time frame, it's way above the cloud. All good here. The conversion line is above the baseline. So this is a hold position here. It's certainly for the Ichimoku Cloud. It would let the price come back to touch the cloud before thinking of getting out of it. Now, zooming into the 15-minute view, this is where we had some of the divergences before, but I'm not seeing it here. The conversion line has just dropped below the baseline, actually. If we zoom in, the blue line is just crossing the red line in behind there. And that is the first bit of what could be negative. And other than that, it hasn't twisted to the negative here. It's looking for more sideways. And so though we have some of the indicators that are not fully positive, most of the indicators are still looking like it's going up. And now let's look at the Bitcoin dominance levels you can't ignore. We can see Bitcoin dominance here has been rising all the way through this time, and it's made 4 hits off of a potential top. The other chart that we watch on a regular basis is the altcoin market cap versus dominance, and it's essentially a reverse image of Bitcoin dominance. When this is coming down, the price of altcoins in general across all of the alts are all coming down. So we can see that the alts have made bottoms, a little bit of a run up, and then bottoms and bottoms again. Another chart that I want to look at is from Coin Market Cap, where it's the percentage of total market cap. We have Bitcoin at the top, and then we have all the others of cryptocurrencies down at the bottom. So it's easy to see here that on April the 1st, there was a bottom in Bitcoin dominance and a top in altcoin dominance. And from there, altcoins lost market share as Bitcoin started to climb. Now, Bitcoin and altcoin market or dominance are all making a very small reverse formation here. We can see Bitcoin dominance is making that top formation we were just looking at, and the altcoin dominance is making a potential bottom formation that we were just looking at. So we have to see a break of this trend line, and we have to see the dominance pull away from these levels. Or if we don't, then the altcoins are going to be going down, and we're going to see some really major capitulation lows in the altcoins. They'll drop 50 to 70% more from where they are. And as you may recall, I did a video some months ago talking about the chance that cryptocurrencies could be going down considerably because they are 10 times the value they used to be back in the 2014-2017 range. Because they are the same Satoshi value as they were perhaps back then, but because Bitcoin is so much more valuable, they've grown by 10 times in value. And so it looks like they don't have room to go down, but I think the altcoins have some more chance to take some significant dives. And I want to finish the video by talking about 2 different ways to protect your assets and stay prepared for the next cryptocurrency bull wave. The one thing that we've done here is to do a lot of research into the back testing of the prior bull runs to understand everything that we can from the bull run from March to July of 2017, December to January 2018, April and May of 2018, September to October 2018, and we had a little bit of a bull run in December, January, February of 2019 as well. And all of those we've been able to follow and break them down into some really good data that proves the trading system that works when the cryptocurrencies are making their bottom and taking off. And so the 2 ways to protect your assets and stay prepared for the next cryptocurrency bull wave. First of all, in order to stay prepared, you've got to stay watching. And this is what we do on the bull market watch spreadsheet. You can see here that we've color coded the trading signals. So orange and red are bearish, gray is neutral, yellow and green are bullish. And you can see by the color coding in this short piece of time frame from January to the middle of February, there's a specific time through here where everything is looking very bearish. And if I go through and I grab these rows and highlight them and draw this across, you can see that across all of the cryptos, it was pretty much bearish through that whole time. But you can also see just below that zone here that from that zone to the next week and a half or so, everything changed from gray and they started to go into yellows and greens. So you can see that there is a specific time where all of the cryptocurrencies are going to find their way into a bull market. They don't all go at the same time. But as that bull market moves along, we can now see through this period of time that almost all of the markets were in a bull phase. Almost all of them were in a hold status. So there definitely is a way to identify exactly when the cryptocurrencies are in a bull market and in a bear market. And there is a specific time to know when to be scaling into the trade so that you can make your profits. And of course, there is a specific time to know when to get out of the trade as everything is turning from green and going back to the oranges and the reds. As you can see in the bull market watch, as we're going along right now, this is the current data. It's all very bearish. All the way along here, we can follow through that all of the cryptocurrencies have gone from gray, which is neutral, into orange, which is nearly going to fail, into the reds, which is to fail to down to new lows and be breaking down and continuing on the downtrend. And so what we're watching for in the bull market watch is for this color coding to change again for us, so that we start to see things lighten up and go from gray to yellow to green. And I'm going to do a special webinar that talks about our back testing and the best way to be getting into those trades so that if there is another big run on these cryptos, we are prepared to be able to soak in these kind of profits again. To get a copy of that special report that's coming up, be sure that you are subscribed to our email list over on digitalcurrencytraders.com. If you're already on the list and you have signed up for our free chapter on the bull market watch, then you will be unnotified when the new webinar is ready in the next couple days. Now let's head back to Bitcoin price and zoom in to the very moment to see what is going on. Here's the 15-minute time frame. Let's zoom into the 1-minute time frame and step back. It's been sideways a lot, pretty sideways there. This might turn out to be a Bart Simpson pattern. And should that happen, I can't wait to record what's going on with the indicators so that we can know more about those Bart Simpson patterns as they are shaping up. That wraps it up for today. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my videos here on YouTube, you may also enjoy my newsletter. Begin by downloading the most important trading strategy we teach. And then, once a week, I send out an inspiring email about making your money work for you by micro-trading cryptocurrencies. You can sign up for that over at digitalcurrencytraders.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.